let's start off. This is something to do with the Friendship Day series. And so we have the series live on Creator, which is called Coffee with Friend. And I have my friend here with me today, live. And hello, Shubham. Glad you joined, all of you. And so this is one topic that I wanted to address. In fact, mostly we have been doing swing trading chart analysis on Wednesdays. But I think there is also this need of people who are beginning in the stock market, and some things like casual conversations, nothing technical today, no theory, nothing today, just very casual conversations. And Nehal, my friend, will help me with that. So yeah, Nehal is a qualified pharmacist, but he turned a stock market trader and investor. So yeah, we have been doing so many trades together, and we kind of discuss stocks and stock market, a lot of things together. So he's quite experienced. In fact, he's not a beginner, but we'll try to do this session from the perspective of a beginner. So we have some questions in mind. We'll be discussing that, but also during the session, if you think some of the questions are not addressed, or you have something in your mind, please do put it in the chat box. So we will also try and answer those questions. Hi Kashish, glad you joined. Okay, so Nehal, thank you for joining, and welcome to this session on Creator. This is the first time that Nehal is on Creator, and so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, let's start off. We have a list of questions to go, and first of all, let me ask Nehal. In fact, he had the questions to ask me, but let me ask you that what made you to come into the stock market? You are from a pharmacy background, and how come you got interested in the stock market? Let me ask you first.
Yeah, thank you. So as you asked this question, I was ready to answer these because from my father, I got two advice strictly that not to do. The one is not to invest in the LIC, and means not to buy a life paying life premium and buying a LIC policy. And second one is he clearly said me that not to go and burn your hands into the stock market. So these two things he advised me specifically, and out of that one, while I was thinking that so many people have the questions that everybody is losing money in the stock market. So the question left me wondered is that if everybody is losing money, then someone would be there who is making the money. Then who is that guy? And if that is the so much less percentage about the people who makes the money, then I want to be the one of them. So that's how I got into the stock market.
That's that's a very interesting story there. Uh, so, in fact, he was going against the advice of his father by getting into the stock market. I am sure many of you would have also got the same kind of advice. The reason being that, of course, there are many people who have burnt their fingers, like you rightly said, without knowing the dynamics of the stock market. They burnt their fingers, and therefore they have come out with this experience and with this knowledge that it's not safe to go in there. It is gambling, and it is just speculation and things like that. And many people also, like, I remember this instance because so many people also told me that, stock market, our neighbor was putting money in the stock market, is now he's lost everything, he's on the road, road pe aa gaya. So be careful. Right, I said, I don't speculate. Okay, I really research and I do things, so I don't speculate. Of course, yeah. Okay, so yeah, please do put your questions also in the chat box as you think about what's your experience in the stock market. How I believe many of you are beginners, because that's why you would have come to this chat show. But what's your experience also, would like to know. So put it there, your story, if you can, on the chat box. Nehal, do you have any questions? Let me also tell my story. So I in fact got into the stock market very late, and because I was in fact a student of finance, so I should have gotten much early than what I did. Uh, but I was interested in the stock market right from my student days. But I was not trading regularly in the market. Neither was I investing regularly in the market. It was just on and off thing. But that changed in 2016, right? So when one of my friends introduced me to technical analysis and futures and options, so I was investing earlier also, on and off. But then when one of my friends he told me about technical analysis and futures and options, that's when I started taking it seriously. I started learning it, and now I trade daily. So that's my story. So Kashish, is this the right time to start out in the stock market since it is so volatile right now? And yes, the stock market is never going to be peaceful and calm. It is it is always going to be volatile. So yeah, so there is it's definitely a good time. What you need is correct understanding, and whether we'll also address some of those questions here. Trading or investing. So what you actually want to do, what is your expectation from the market, that should be very clear. If that is clear, every time is the right time, no problem with that.
Yeah. And I wanted to add little bit to this question is no, stock market is directly related to the emotions. No, it shows the human behavior from the past history and everything. So it never to be like a straight path. It is always be like a roller coaster kind of the things. Because we fear, so we sell out everything and then we find out the stability and then we go again into it. है ना? So it would be always volatile.
Yeah, so in the short term, it is always going to be volatile. In the long term, you will see that you have an uptrend. Most of the markets, they do have an uptrend. How do you research before investing? What can we do to trade better? So I'll let Nehal answer this question. How do you research if you want to invest a stock? How do you research? And yeah.
Uh, yeah, answer to that, Praful. How do you invest before the investing? See, in a straightforward answer, if I would say कि अगर हम एक शर्ट लेने जाते हैं छोटा सा तो भी हम चार दुकान देखते हैं कि ये वाला शर्ट अच्छा है कि नहीं, ये वाला प्राइस टैग अच्छा है कि नहीं, और हम उसमें सेल क्या है वो ट्राई करते हैं और बेसिक फिगर आउट करने का ट्राई करते हैं और हम एक कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचते हैं कि ये ब्रांड है और तो उसका शर्ट अच्छा ही होगा चाहे भले दाम थोड़ा महंगा है, और फिर हम वो चीप शर्ट के सामने वो महंगा वाला शर्ट भी बाय करते हैं और उसमें खुश रहते हैं। पर जब इन्वेस्टिंग की बात आती है तो मुझे याद है मेरा एक दोस्त है जो मेरे से हरदम बातें करता है, तो वो मुझे हमेशा कहता है कि अरे यार ये स्टॉक ले ले 5 रुपए का है, ये स्टॉक ले ले 6 रुपए का है, और सोचता है कि वो रातों रात मल्टी बैगर बन जाएगा। तो जब इन्वेस्टिंग की बात आती है तो हम दाम के पीछे भागते हैं रादर देन द कंपनी। बट इन्वेस्टिंग करना है अगर तो वी शुड फॉलो द कंपनी नॉट द स्टॉक ऑफ द प्राइस, बिकॉज अच्छी और ब्रांडेड कंपनियां जो है वो लॉन्गर रन में अगर आप उनके चार्ट देखोगे लॉन्गर टाइम प्राइजन पे तो उन्होंने ऑलवेज ग्रो किया है और वो ऑलवेज वहां पर टिके रहते हैं। एंड नो, देर आर सो मेनी गुड थिंग्स अबाउट द कंपनीज लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आई से डी मार्ट। तो डीमार्ट देख रहे हैं हम कि वो अच्छा कर रहा है, पर तो भी अगर ये फॉल में हम डीमार्ट अगर बाय नहीं करना चाहते, हम सस्ता वाला कोई ऑप्शन और पकड़ना चाहते हैं और सोचते हैं कि वो रातों रात 2 गुना 4 गुना हो जाएगा, है ना? तो जब इन्वेस्टिंग की बात आती है तो ऑफ कोर्स फर्स्ट मोस्ट थिंग हमको देखना चाहिए कि वो कंपनी का मार्केट वैल्यूएशन क्या है, वो कंपनी मार्केट में कितने दिन से है, क्या बिजनेस कर रही है, नेचर ऑफ बिजनेस क्या है उनका, उनका टर्नओवर कितना है लो, और सबसे बढ़कर है कि एक जो आम आदमी है ऑडियंस जो है वो उनके बारे में क्या राय रखती है ना? तो ये सब चीजों से हमें पता चलता है कि कौन सी कंपनी में हमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए या कहाँ से हमें दूर रहना चाहिए।
Okay, yeah, that's right. See, if you're thinking of long-term investing, definitely you need to have those blue chip stocks in your portfolio. And of course, you go about and research it. If you know fundamental analysis, right? If you can go about and research the financials of the company, and of course, there is technical analysis where we look at the charts. We look at long-term time frames also. Now, because when you say investing, assuming that you are going for the long term, right? Because investing and trading are different, and the outlook, how we select stocks for that, is also different. The how we want to research whether, let's say, if I'm in for a short term swing trade, then my analysis would be different. I'm not very much then concerned about the financials of the company, rather than I'm concerned more about what is the price action at the moment. But if, say, investing, when you're saying investing, you're using the word investing, then what I do personally is that, I think that, do I want to hold this stock for 10 years? That's what Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett said, if you don't want to hold a stock for 10 years, then don't buy the stock, yeah? Because you're a long-term investor. So 10 years, in 10 years, even if the stock market closes down, the trade in that stock would continue to happen, because that stock is a good stock, right? And people would still want to buy and sell. So even if the stock market closes down, people would still want to buy or sell that stock, and therefore trade will happen. So that's the kind of stock that you want to have as a blue chip stocks in your portfolio for long-term investing. And of course, definitely, there's a lot of research. You need to understand fundamental analysis at least a little bit. Try and look at the financials of the company and the price action. I do both. I do fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis, both, and then combine and arrive at a decision on whether I want a stock in my portfolio or not. Right. So that's what I do. Uh, yeah. And what can we do to trade better? Yeah, that's a different question now. So yeah, what do you do to trade, Nehal? What do you do? Like,
See,
to,
trading is altogether on a different world than the investing. So while we come to the trading, there is also two or three different kind of the uh, group, like an intraday trading or scalping or with the swing trading or short term trading.
yeah,
So it's all depend on the what horizon you are looking over. तो अगर आपको एक अच्छा ट्रेडर बनना है और अगर आप इंट्राडे की बात करते हैं, then the discipline becomes the more important things for you. There is nothing going to win you over the discipline. और अगर हम शॉर्ट टर्म स्विंग ट्रेडिंग की बात करते हैं, तो एक समय पर वो हमें थोड़ा सा माफ भी कर देता है अगर कुछ गलती हो जाए तो अगर एक अच्छा ट्रेडर बनना है तो सबसे पहले आपको ये डिसाइड करना जरूरी है कि आपका टाइम होराइजन क्या है, और बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू कैन डिसाइड कि मुझे कैसे डेवलप होना है.
yeah, that is right. So the, like we said, what is, when you come into the market, what is your expectation? So when you say trade, that can be intraday. So if it is intraday, people do look at 5-minute charts or 15 minutes charts maximum, right? But let's say you're doing a short-term trade, like 1 week or so, then you want to take hourly charts or daily charts. And usually, if you see some of the swing trading analysis that we do on Wednesday, the chart analysis we do, that is mostly positional, a little bit of positional. So the amount of time that we hold a stock would range from a few weeks to a few months, maybe 1 to 3 months on an average, right? So in that case, what I do is that I look at the weekly charts. So I want to see whether the trend is confirming on the weekly charts, and then I want to enter it. But if I'm riding that trend should continue for, let's say, 1 month or 3 months or so. So that gives me a lot of space, first of all. So it depends on what kind of psychology also you are as a trader. In fact, I am a much more much more laid back kind of a trader. So that's why I do swing trades which is spaced out over 1 to 3 months. But I know Nehal because we have been trading together. So he's not so laid back as me. He's kind of a more of an impulsive and fast trader. So what he does probably is more of 1 or 2 days, or sometimes I think intraday. Do you do intraday, Nehal?
No, no, not right now. With the job it's difficult.
Yeah, okay. So because he's also working, so he's not doing intraday right now. But I think what he does is short-term trades more than. So I do more of a positional trade, but he does short-term. So depending on what kind of approach you are taking, what kind of psychology you have, are you a very impulsive person, or are you kind of a laid-back person? That should decide your expectation as well as your strategy in the market. So there is everything for everybody. There is something for everybody. So if you want to do intraday also, there are things, but of course intraday I don't recommend intraday because it's very difficult. In fact, the experts in the market do intraday, but often what happens is that the beginners start with intraday. Normally, what we see is that when people enter the stock market, they start with intraday. In fact, that is the wrong place to start. You should start with positional trades so that you have you can space out your decisions. You can space out your profits and your losses, and you have time in the markets for your expectation or the market to go according to your expectation. So. Uh, I would not recommend intraday. Intraday is for those people who are experts and who can trade very well. So yeah. So let me also will try and look at. Do you have any other questions? Not right now. Okay. So let's look at this question. Okay, should we do trading or investing? What should we do?
So somebody, Srinivashan Reddy is asking about the stock specific question. Tata Alex is rocking.
Tata Elxsi, yes, we did discuss Tata Elxsi on the Wednesday stream. I think Srinivas, you were
Hmm.
there on that stream, so we did discuss that. That's right. It's a great stock, and it's a long term. It's a stock to
Yes.
hold for long term. But as we discussed, it does not give you a good price. It's very rarely has it given a good entry price. Even right now. So as you were saying, yeah. Uh, right. It has gone up today also, very high.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you do, Nehal? Do you trade or invest, or do you do both? What is your outlook towards the market?
Yeah, I do both kind of the things. As you said that no, getting into the stock market or getting into the no specific stock, the enterprise is much more important rather than the stock value and where it is trading right now. So if I want get the good price for the investing purpose, I definitely try to do a trade in certain kind of the stocks where I think I can gain the 2 or 4 percentage gain. So yes, I do both kind of the things, but moreover doing the day trading or I don't do day trading, but definitely go for the swings and long term horizons. I have most of my capital allocated for the investing.
So when you say 2 to 4%, what time frame are you looking at? 2 to 4% in a month, in a 6 months, or how are you looking at
Oh,
it?
2 to 4% in a month is a good return given by the script, or no. If you look at into the financial market, there is no such instrument which gives you the 2 to 4 percentage of return in a month. Okay, so even if I say that if we are getting 2 to 4 percentage return even quarterly, even that is also a good return because we get 3.5 percentage return in a saving bank account, and for that also we wait for the 12 months. But
Yeah.
while it comes to the stock market, so I believe 2 to 4% is easily no achievable with the swing trade, and definitely you can get it. So for that I look for the daily time frame, and based on the daily time frame and based on the momentum how the stock doing vis-a-vis nifty, I choose the script and I go for that swing.
Okay, so that is relative strength indicator. Do you use the relative strength indicator?
Yeah, definitely I look at the RS.
Okay. Right. The relative strength indicator is how that's one indicator which tells you how one stock is performing compared to another stock. So, or let's say the index. So, if that helps you to show the momentum of the stock, and if it is in the momentum, you can ride the trend and you can get some returns on it. So, I just want to ask you for all those who are joining us online, what is your expectation from the market? So Nehal said, is it 2 to 4% in a month, or even if it is quarterly, it's not really a bad return because compared to saving account, it's really good even if it is quarterly. So I just want to ask you, when you are approaching the stock market, what is the expectation of return that you have in the stock market? Right? Do you have a number in your mind, or what kind of number you have in your mind? Uh, you know, can you share it with us? So because those expectations also decide on what kind of things that we do in the market, right? So yeah, Shubham. So you have no number. You're very new to this. Okay. So probably this is a good place to start. Even if 2% in a month is achievable. In fact, it is achievable. Around 4%, yeah, that's good. Around 4% in a month. I assume you're saying around 4% in a month, right? So that's the kind of return that if you have a good strategy in place and you have a good discipline, don't go against your strategy and don't trade on impulse. Then probably uh, this is uh, this is a this is a good way. Monthly, yes. Right. So that's a good thing to have, because sometimes people come and they say I expect to double my money in a year. Yeah. So when you double your money in a year, that means how much return is that? 100% return in a year,
100%.
right? So 8% or 9% or even 10% in a month. That's when you have that kind of expectation. That's when all the losses happen, right? So that's when people say road pe aa jayega, when you speculate so much. Okay, right. Now, let's say I don't know. Most of you would already be knowing this, but let me just just for clarification, what type of software is required to start in the stock market? Do you have any idea? Like what when you started, what kind of software were you using? Did you use any specialized software, or what did you use?
सच में बताऊं तो जब मैं भी पहले पहले नया नया स्टॉक मार्केट में आया था, तो लोगों के वीडियोस देख के और लोगों का रिटर्न देख के मुझे भी हुआ था कि अगर हमें स्टॉक मार्केट में अगर सबसे अच्छा रिटर्न पाना है तो हमारे पास वर्ल्ड क्लास का सिस्टम होना चाहिए, अच्छे अच्छे और महंगे सॉफ्टवेयर्स होने चाहिए, तो ही हम स्टॉक मार्केट में रिटर्न बना सकते हैं। और बिलीव मी, आज इतने सालों के बाद मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि हाँ, कहीं ना कहीं आपको एक अच्छा सिस्टम चाहिए और अच्छा एक पेड सॉफ्टवेयर है तो अच्छा है, पर वो जो महंगे वाले सॉफ्टवेयर जिसकी हम बात करते हैं वो हमारे लेवल पर अभी हमें नहीं चाहिए। उसके बिना भी अगर स्विंग ट्रेडिंग कर सकते हैं तो हमारे लिए बाकी नॉर्मल सॉफ्टवेयर जो फ्रीली अवेलेबल है, जैसे कि ट्रेडिंग व्यू का अकाउंट है जो हमें फ्रीली मिलता है। अगर आप ऑप्शंस एंड फ्यूचर्स करना चाहते हैं तो ऑप्स्ट्रा एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है। फिर अगर आपको स्विंग ट्रेडिंग भी करना है तो मार्केट में विवेक बजाज सर का एक उनका जो प्लेटफॉर्म है वो भी काफी अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है और फ्री अवेलेबल है वो सारे। फिर screener.com करके एक है, वो भी एक अच्छा और फ्रीली अवेलेबल सॉफ्टवेयर है। चार्टिंग सॉफ्टवेयर है जो फ्री अवेलेबल है। तो मार्केट में देयर आर सो मेनी टूल्स अवेलेबल विच विल हेल्प यू टू बिकम अ गुड ट्रेडर एंड बी एट द राइट टाइम एट द राइट नो सिचुएशंस कि जब स्टॉक रियली मूवमेंट में होगा वो आपको वहां पे पिक करने के लिए हेल्प करेगा। So there is no such fancy software is required. With the minimum setup, what is available at the free of cost in the market, you can do great and even wonders.
That's absolutely true. They don't need any kind of a fancy software to start off in the market, right? Without having all the softwares, yeah, there are, yeah, plenty of tools available. And right now even the brokers are giving good charting softwares. So even that is fine. Myself, I personally use only the software that is given by the broker, right? I don't use any other, except when I'm doing options, I'm using Opstra. But other than that, I'm using only uh, the charting software which is given by the broker. So it's not necessary. So there are some people who go into expensive things and all of that, but it's not actually necessary. And for a beginner, definitely not necessary to get into all kind of expensive softwares. Right. Uh, what else? Do you any more like questions that can come in the mind of a beginner? Yeah. So yeah, many people also have this question of can we trade along with our job? Is it possible that we have a job, full time job, and we also do trading? Is it possible to do that? You're working, Nehal. How do you do?
Yes, I say it is very much possible to do. do a part-time kind of the things into the stock market. But the thing is, only you cannot go for the intraday, because as you are into the uh, maybe into the job, and while you are not able to observe the script, it may lead you to the very much damage when you are dent on your capital and so. But while it comes to the swing trading, it is very much possible. While it comes to the investing point of view, it is very much possible. जैसे कि मैं मेरे जॉब के साथ स्विंग ट्रेडिंग करता हूँ, तो मैं फ्राइडे नाइट को या तो प्रोबेबली सैटरडे को या संडे नाइट को पूरे टाइम फ्रेम के हिसाब से स्टॉक को एनालाइज करके उसके मोमेंटम को देख के मैं डिसीजंस बनाता हूँ कि कौन सा स्टॉक मुझे वॉच लिस्ट में ऐड करना है, कौन सा स्टॉक मुझे कौन से लेवल पर बाय करना है. And according to those levels, I feed the GTD orders and other kind of the orders which stockbroker supports. And I feed my target price, my buy price, my stop loss price, and everything. I keep it in the system. And while it comes to that scenario, the automatic things runs out, and no, the things order will get executed. So it is very much possible to work and to be get to be invest into the market and earn some part-time income.
Okay, that is, I think that's great. What is he saying exactly is that not don't do intraday along with your job, because that's going to be risky, because you will not be able to completely monitor your positions all through the day. So instead of doing intraday, do it on the EOD basis, the end of day basis, right? On either daily charts or weekly charts. Like he said, he's doing swing trading on weekly charts, right? At the end of the week, you see what is happening, and then you can take a swing trade, or you can also invest. And in fact, you should do both. It's not trading or investing; it is trading and investing. Right? You trade, you earn some short-term income, and then you invest it for the long term for wealth creation. That's the logical way of doing it. Also, intraday trading is what do you feel about the it's a known fact that 70% of the turnover in the market is done by algorithms, right? And especially in intraday trading. So is it possible for a intraday trader like a human? I don't have an algorithm. I'm a discretionary trader. Is it possible for me to win against the algorithm?
There is a very much less probability to win against the algorithm, because while it comes to the algorithm, एक सर्वे से ऐसा बताया जा रहा है कि algorithm जो है वो 1/10 ऑफ द सेकंड्स में अपना ऑर्डर प्लेस करता है, और विद इन दैट फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड वो अपना गेन बुक करता है और वहां से वो एग्जिट लेता है ना. तो एक इंसान का जो भी स्पीड है उसके कंपेयर में अल्गोरिदम को बीट कर पाना इट इज इम्पॉसिबल. हाँ, हो सकता है कि सर्टेन केसेस में आप कभी कभी जीत जाओगे, बट दैट गिव्स अस द ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस. एंड सो इंट्राडे में करना बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है. देयर आर फ्यू ट्रेडर्स हु मेक्स द मनी, बट अगेन you have to be very harsh on your emotions, which we are not able to do so. So you have to be very, very careful, and it is very tough to win against the algorithm.
Yeah. So that is what is actually making intraday difficult. Is the majority of the turnover is happening by high frequency trades, by algorithms. And like Nehal rightly said, it is very difficult to control your emotions. That is where the whole the thing lies, the psychology of how you are approaching when your money is put into the market. It happens aisa hua hai. It happens like when we are doing paper trading. We make all the profits, right? It's always in green. But when you actually put money in the market, that is the time that you make the loss. Do you understand the reason behind? I don't know if it has happened to you. Probably it has also happened to you. It has happened to me so many times. When I think about a strategy and I implement it on paper, or make it into Excel sheet and say, okay, let me see if this works or not. It will definitely work, and it works almost all the time, and it gives good profits. But the moment you put that trade, actually you put it into the system, and your money is on the line, it actually fails to work. You know why? It's about the emotions, because when you put your when it is on the trade is on paper, your emotions are not involved as much as when you are actually trading with your money inside. So So your emotions, controlling your emotions, especially against such kind of algorithms, is very difficult, and that is the reason why we say that, as an amateur we should try and avoid intraday, and stick to positional, and then going along, like if you think you're expert in the market, then you can go along and do intraday also.
ये ये अजय देवगन का एक मूवी का डायलॉग है, मुझे याद आता है कि ये इश्क जो है वो है आग का दरिया, और आग के दरिया में डूबकर हमें क्या करना है, हमें पार जाना है। तो ये भी स्टॉक मार्केट में भी नए लोगों की एक यही कहानी है कि जब वो हाथ जलाएंगे तभी उनको समझ में आएगा कि क्या होता है।
Exactly, right. uh, okay, now yeah. So, should we do futures and options? Probably this is also one of the questions that many people have in mind. Um, should we trade in futures and options, or should we stick to cash market? Uh, should we stick to investing? What should we do? Because there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconceptions and about options and futures also. So, what is the correct approach for a beginner, right? Neil,
सी
what did you do when you began in the market?
हर एक नए खिलाड़ी की तरह जब मैं भी स्टॉक मार्केट में आया, मैंने भी जब लोगों को देखा, थोड़ा बहुत यूट्यूब का वीडियोस देखा, तो मुझे भी फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस ने अपनी तरफ आकर्षित किया। क्योंकि फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस बात ही वो ऐसी है कि जहाँ पे हमें ऐसा बताया जाता है कि छोटा सा अमाउंट आप लगा रहे हो और उसके सामने आपका रिवॉर्ड बहुत बड़ा है, पर इसका जो एक हार्श और डार्क रियलिटी जो है वो शायद हमें कोई नहीं बताता है। कोई भी ऐसा यूट्यूबर नहीं है जो अपनी ये डार्क रियलिटी को आपको रिवील करेगा कि उसके सामने उसका लेवरेज पोजीशंस, आपका जो है रिस्क भी उतना ही है। स्टॉक मार्केट को आप इतना जान लीजिए, जिन्हें नई नई शुरुआत करना है, कि ये दो धारी तलवार है। चलेगी तो आपको प्रॉफिट भी देकर जाएगी, और मारेगी तो वो उतना ही आपको काट कर जाएगी, है ना। तो इसमें हमें रिस्क और रिवॉर्ड को बैलेंस करके चलना बहुत बहुत जरूरी है। और जहां पर फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस की बात आती है, तो फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस वो एक लेवरेज पोजीशन है जहां पे आपको थोड़े बहुत से पैसे के सामने आपको एक बहुत बड़ी कीमत का ट्रेड लेने की अनुमति होती है। तो पर आप ये समझ लीजिए कि जब आप 100 रुपए के सामने 1 लाख रुपए का ट्रेड उठाते हैं, और अगर 1 लाख रुपए के ट्रेड में आपको 1% भी अगर लॉस आता है, तो वो आपके 100 रुपीज के कैपिटल के ऊपर में कितना बहुत बड़ा लॉस है। तो नए लोगों को मैं यही एडवाइस करूंगा कि जैसे हम स्कूल में जाते हैं तो हमें ABCD से लेके Z तक पढ़ाया जाता है, पर हम फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन ऐसा है जो हमको सीधा O से शुरुआत करके Z तक पहुंचना है ना। तो नए लोगों को यही एडवाइस है कि फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन से कृपया बहुत बहुत दूर रहिए। पहले कैश से शुरुआत कीजिए, कैश मार्केट को आप समझिए, और उसके बाद फिर ऑप्शंस को धीरे धीरे आप हैजिंग के लिए यूज कीजिए, और उसके बाद आप फ्यूचर्स की तरफ अगर आंख उठा के देखना है तो देख सकते हैं।
That is so true. Uh, in fact, initial days in the stock market, when I started trading, also futures and options were the main culprit in actually, denting right my capital. I made a lot of losses in the beginning. Also, what happens is that it's just not the losses; it's not just the money aspect. It hits you on your morale, right? Because then your psychology is affected. Then you're afraid to take a trade. So when you lose your confidence in making the trade, then you don't follow your system, right? Then you don't follow your system. Then ultimately, what should have been a good trade and you should have taken that trade, but you don't take that trade because of fear, right? So it is actually, like he said, a double-edged sword. It can cut you both ways. So it is a dangerous thing. Warren Buffett said again, futures and options, derivatives are weapons of mass destruction, right? And that is true. But again, there's a lot of learning involved, right? So I'm not saying that you should not go into futures and options. Futures and options, if done right, is an excellent instrument. And But of course, it has to be understood and it has to be done right. So that's what I did finally. I learned how to do futures and options. I learned how to buy, how to sell, how to create hedge strategies, how to minimize your losses, how to maximize your profits. That's what I learned, and so that's what we are doing now. So right. So, but if you don't understand options and if you trade, you can end up with really very heavy losses. Like he said, it's a leverage position. So, you can do it with small amount of capital, but the amount of loss that you take on that capital would be very huge. And it is possible, like, your entire capital can be wiped out in a day if you're reckless. Your entire capital can be wiped out in one single day, one single trade. Right? That is also possible. So that's why extra caution required on that. Right. By the way, if any of you want to learn about options, you're courageous and you want to learn about options, do get in touch with me. I can teach you about options. Anyway, but that is not for a beginner. Once you got into the market, and then you can do. Yeah, that's better, Srinivas. In the beginning, it is better. Going forward, once you have some experience of swing trading and investments, then later on you can allocate some amount of your capital to futures and options. So you can learn. There's a learning curve involved, so you can learn.
Yes. And also you should bring the money into the stock market which you are afford to lose. That is very much important things. You should
Yeah.
not borrow with anyone and then do the trading and all the things.
Yes, please don't borrow. Please don't borrow and invest in the stock market. Please use your own money. Leverage is very harmful because if you start making loss, and you have to pay somebody else, it will become extremely problematic. So please don't use leverage. Leverage is the double-edged sword. Uh, how much
Mhm.
capital is required for starting in the stock market? How much capital is required for just to start? Maybe how much capital is required?
Yeah,
Minimum.
as you wanted to learn the cash market and doing the swing trade and investing kind of the things, any amount would be good. But the thing is कि अगर मैं आपको एक उदाहरण से देना चाहूँ कि what the beginner makes a mistake is, let's say for example, अगर 100 रुपीज का आपका कैपिटल है और उसके ऊपर आपको 10% गेन हो रहा है तो आपको कितना दिखेगा? इट वुड बी लाइक 10 रुपीज. और अगर 1 लाख के ऊपर में अगर आपको 10% प्रॉफिट हो रहा है तो आपको कितना दिखेगा? 10,000. तो एक बिगिनर की आंखों को या एक ह्यूमन को देखने के लिए 10,000 एक बहुत बड़ा रकम है. हालांकि अगर आप परसेंटेज वाइज गिनोगे तो दोनों 10-10% है. इट वोंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस इन द परसेंटेज टर्म. तो हाँ, अगर आपके पास पैसा है तो बड़ी अमाउंट से आप चालू कर सकते हो. पर आई सजेस्ट यू दैट यू ऑलवेज calculate your return in terms of the percentage, not in terms of the money growing. So that would make the much more difference in the beginner's mindset, and which is the most important part in the investing. Hmm?
That's right. This is also a part of psychology, in fact. Because when we say 100 rupees profit, it may be 10%. It may be 10%. It may be 1,000 rupees share and you get 100 rupees profit. It may be 10%, but it doesn't seem like much because it's just 100 rupees, right? But in absolute terms, if you are investing with a greater amount, maybe 10,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees profit, and suddenly you feel that oh wow, this is really good. I mean, ultimately the percentage is the same, but this is how the amount actually plays into our mind and disturbs our psychology, and it can hamper your further trades. So whatever amount that you are bringing, like we said, I think previously we said, uh, let it be an amount which you can afford to lose. Let's say for example, if you're ready to lose 1 lakh, 1 lakh जाएगा तो कोई problem नहीं है. And if you are in that space, then bring that amount, right, and start with that. And once you start with that, and then slowly going forward, as you gain confidence, you can slowly increase, not in a not in a एक झटके में नहीं, slowly increase your capital, and start doing a little bit more volume than before. So that will help. Rahul, strategy for swing trading, on Wednesdays, please do tune in for Wednesdays, because that's where we do swing trading chart analysis, and the strategy that I use with Bollinger Bands, I explain it over there, how to do that. Right now, I don't have the charts or the PowerPoint before me. But it's a very simple strategy that we do, and every Wednesday, mostly every Wednesday, I do that. So it is a very simple strategy with Bollinger Bands, and I use also exponential moving averages, and with that, we can do some very good uh, swing trading stocks, right? So please do tune in on Wednesdays. Uh, will help for the swing trading strategy, right? So we already said this. I mean, how much can we earn from the stock market? I think we already covered this question before. So 2 to 4% in a month. So having unrealistic expectations from the market, disturbs our trade. And so so many people, they say, I made 100%, I made 1000%, but nobody will tell you how much loss they made. Right? In one trade, they may have got a huge amount, but overall, how much loss they have made, that nobody will tell you. So that's why please don't go by the profit figures that people claim in the market. So as per Zerodha statistics, Zerodha, the broker, they brought out, Nitin Kamath gave out some statistics. Only 1% of traders make money on their customer base. Only 1%. So don't go by the profit figures. So the thing is that let your expectations be realistic. So Kashish, if I'm investing 10,000 in the stock market, how many stocks should I invest in? Yeah.
See, Kashish, with the 10,000s, maybe if you go for the blue chip shares, it would be difficult to scattered over the various range of the stocks. So definitely you need to increase your capital. Otherwise, I would say for SIP is the good options for you, because while we talk about the risk management and other things, I don't think so. With the 10K, you can have the much good kind of the stocks, and max 2 or 3 stocks you can go.
Yeah. So the blue chip stocks are usually in the range of 1,500 to 2,000. Yeah. Just for learning. Yes. So in terms of percentages, let's speak in terms of percentages, not in terms of absolute amount. In
Yeah.
terms of percentages, what I'll tell you what I do, then maybe Nehal can also. What I do is that first of all, you decide whether it is swing trading or whether it is long-term investment. So let's say for swing trading. So swing trading, let's say I have 1 lakh rupees allocated for swing trading. What I do is that I want to have maximum of 5 to 6 positions open at a time. Right? That's all that I can manage with my mind space. Right? 5 to 6 positions open at a time. More than that, it will be difficult to track over a period of time. So in that case, so what I do is that then I divide the 1 lakh into 5 or 6 different baskets. So let's say around 16,000 rupees per trade, and maximum of 5 trades simultaneously. So that's what I do for swing trading, right? So that's how I allocate for swing trading. Of course, from the overall capital, you want to allocate how much you want to allocate for swing trading and how much you want to allocate for long term. So in case of long term, I don't have a number, but what I do is that I take same amount of stocks. I have a watch list of stocks for long term which I want to invest, and I also have the price written down. That when it comes to this price, then I want to buy this, and when it comes to that price, I purchase the same amount, and I don't have an absolute figure for that because I want to continue to increase my long-term portfolio as much as it can go, because that is where your wealth creation is going to happen. So what I do is that I fix the amount for one particular stock. This is what I'm going to invest in one stock. Say 20,000, 25, whatever it is. I'm going to invest in this, and when the price comes down to that position, I'll buy that, and over a period of time, I will build my long-term portfolio. That's how I allocate my money. Okay, so there's an allocation for long-term, there's an allocation for swing trading, and there's an also, because I'm doing futures and options also, so there is also an allocation for futures and options, and I don't deviate from those allocations. Right? It stays the same. The amount stays the same. What do you do, Nehal?
Yeah. So for that,
So how?
as you said, correct. As you said, correct. So I also do in the same fashion. I also divide the capitals in the different part of the allocations, and most of the my, as I said, ki most of the my capital is already invested for the long term. So for the certain segment we have a decided allocated capital, and even in that allocated capital we have a percentage लॉस वी हैव डिफाइंड कि अगर जैसे फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस के लिए मैंने अगर मेरा 1 लाख का कैपिटल अगर लेकर रखा है तो उसमें से मैं देखूंगा कि अगर 10,000 से ज्यादा का अगर लॉस होता है तो आई वुड सिट बैक, आई विल एनालाइज द ट्रेड and I will go through where I made a mistakes, and then I will redesign my whatever I need to do, the corrective and preventive actions I need to go through. I will do that, and then I will come back with the whatever the capital is remaining with me. Okay, so this is how we go. So you can decide based on your risk appetite and what kind of the capital you have. But always for the beginners, it is not a good idea to bring some money to make it zero and again bring some more money and make it zero, again bring some more money and make it zero. So always you should have some risk defined. If that limit gets exhausted, then you need to revisit and again you need to work on it hard.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the point here is, yeah, that's right. So it's not just about allocating your investing capital, but it's also about defining the amount of loss that you will take. It can be used as a percentage of capital also. Let's say in one trade, I will lose only 1% of my capital. So whatever is that 1% of your capital, if it comes to that amount, then better to exit that trade. Think about it. If there is any rectification to be done, then do those rectification and then enter the next trade. Yeah, right. So exactly that's what I also do in terms of stop loss. I do place stop loss in terms of percentages. So that's a good thing to have, especially for a new person. That's a very good thing to have. For swing trading, which stocks would you buy on next Tuesday? Right now, I don't have an idea, Ankur. I will, we did that yesterday. Would you mind if you see that? No, not yesterday. In fact, we did that on Wednesday, the last stream that I did, swing trading analysis. So we discussed so many stocks which are good for the next week. So maybe you'll get some ideas from there. Right now, I don't have the charts and things in front of me, so I'm unable to make a comment on that. Okay. I have exhausted my questions. Do you have anything to add, Nehal?
Yeah, definitely. For the new beginners, actually, they make one more common mistake is that they do not invest into the learning curve और दी लर्निंग पार्ट. दे थिंक के यूट्यूब का 2-4 वीडियोस देख लिया तो हम उसमें से सीख जाएंगे और देन दे गेट इनटू द स्टॉक मार्केट. और जब आते हैं पहला ट्रेड डालते हैं तो हमेशा की तरह स्टॉक मार्केट उनको पहले ट्रेड में प्रॉफिट देता है. वो एकदम बाहुबली के जैसे बन जाते हैं और फिर पूरा कैपिटल लाते हैं और देन द थिंग्स गो इन अदर डायरेक्शंस. सो आई वुड सजेस्ट न्यू बिगिनर्स जो होते हैं उनके लिए मैं इवन सैमसन भाई से पूछना चाहूंगा कि क्या आपने जब शुरुआत किया आपका स्टॉक मार्केट में एज ए न्यू बिगिनर तो क्या आपने कोई ट्रेनिंग लिया था या आपका कोई मेंटर रहा है?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great question. In fact, training, yes, like we all do. In fact, Nehal also did like, say that. We watch a lot of YouTube videos. We watch a lot of articles online and things like that. So I did my share of that. I did that. There was a time when I started trading, I was spending almost 10 to 12 hours a day watching the market, and then after the market hours, watching videos on futures and options, on technical analysis, and things like that, and reading a lot of articles on the web, and also some books that I could lay my hands on. I did that. Uh, uh, but after I did the initial basic things, like every other beginner, what happens, you get your beginner's luck. So you make some profit and you're excited, what things are working, and then suddenly the market, starts to give you losses, and then you start to wonder what is happening. That's when I thought that I need something more than just learning, self-taught thing. So that's when I went and chose a mentor for myself. So NS Vidai sir, he's in Mumbai. He's a veteran technical analyst. So I took mentorship from him. So that was around 3 months or so. And then even now, in fact, even we have a group. So we keep on, learning from him. So there was mentorship involved. There were a couple of courses involved, uh, and of course a lot of self learning uh, involved. So there's no escape from learning. You have to do your own learning, and plus, so there are times when you want to have guidance. So when you have guidance, it increases your, uh, you know you do less mistakes, and it increases your, you have a faster learning curve. So that is beneficial.
या डेफिनेटली। और उसमें मैं एक चीज ऐड करना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे हमको सिखाया जाता है एज ए ह्यूमन बिहेवियर के भूतकाल तो भूलने के लिए होता है ना। द पीपल कहते हैं कि यार मिट्टी डालो उसके ऊपर और आगे बढ़ जाओ। बट आई आई से दैट भूतकाल में जो भी मिस्टेक हुआ है वो मिस्टेक में से हमें कुछ सीखना है और उसको रिपीट नहीं करना है। न्यू बिगिनर्स एक्चुअली में क्या मिस्टेक करते हैं, हम जब उसको ट्रेड बुक के हम उसकी जब ट्रेनिंग देते हैं हमारे स्टूडेंट का, जब हम ट्रेड बुक एनालाइज करते हैं तो हमें ये पता चलता है कि उन्होंने जो मिस्टेक पिछली बार किया था वही मिस्टेक वो फिर से कर रहे हैं, है ना। तो एज अ बिगिनर आपको ट्रेड बुक जर्नल से ये देखना बहुत जरूरी है कि आपके मिस्टेक्स जो भी है वो आप रिपीट ना करें। तो मैं सैमसन भाई से पूछना चाहूंगा कि क्या अगर एक न्यू बिगिनर को स्टॉक मार्केट में एक अपना कैरियर चालू करना है तो क्या वो उसे एक फुल टाइम बिजनेस के जैसे उसको सोच सकता है?
बिल्कुल सोच सकता है, एंड वी शुड थिंक ऑफ इट इन दैट वे, if you're serious about it. Of course, if you're serious about the stock market, then you should treat the stock market as a business. But like we said, what is your expectation when you come to the market? Is it investing? Is it trading? What do I want to do? That will actually shape your strategy. That will shape your psychology. So if you are like, oh no, I have my business, I have my job, and I'm going to do that, but I want to invest in the stock market for wealth creation, then that is what you want to do. Then you don't want to do intraday, then you only want to do investing. Or maybe what you're saying is that, okay, I have a job, but I also want to learn, and I'll do a little bit of trading also. Then you'll do accordingly, right? You learn about trading and things like that. But let's say your goal is that I want to become a full-time trader. Then there is some serious learning involved, and of course you cannot just quit your job and say that from tomorrow I'll become full-time. You cannot do that. There's some serious learning involved, and of course go step by step and treat it as a business. Treat it as a business, as a serious business, not as speculation. It's not gambling. You have to learn seriously, and just like like you put a business, you start a business, some kind of startup or whatever you start, it takes so many years for it to come into a profit, right? Similarly, we don't expect the stock market to give us 100%, 1000% returns from day one, day two. No, it will also take its time. Your learning curve will also take its time. So treating it as a business means slowly, step by step. You are not here just for one day or 1 month or 1 year, but you are here for a long time, 5 years, 10 years. And so you want to allocate your capital, you want to strategize, you want to learn in that manner. So it is spaced out over the years. That will give you
यस,
huge
या
returns.
थैंक यू। और एक आखिरी क्वेश्चन मैं पूछ लूं सैमसन भाई से कि जब हम यूट्यूब के लिस्ट में जाते हैं, प्ले लिस्ट में या यूट्यूब में हम देखते हैं तो वहां पे हम बहुत सारे वीडियो ऐसे देखते हैं कि 100% फुल प्रूफ स्ट्रेटेजी। तो इसके बारे में आपका क्या ख्याल है?
There is nothing foolproof. It's only fooling you. if you see that foolproof strategy. There is no strategy in the world that is foolproof. There is no strategy in the world that works 100% of the time. And every veteran of the market will tell you that. So though even those who are expert traders, and they have very good strategies with them, their win rate is like 40%, 50%. That means the strategy works 40% of the time, 50% of the time. But because their profits are huge, when they maximize their profits and minimize their losses. If the trade is not working, cut the trade, cut your losses. And if it is working, then maximize your profits. That is how they actually earn. So even with a 40% win rate or a 50% win rate, they have become expert traders. So anybody who says that I have a foolproof strategy and this strategy works 100% of the time is just fooling.
Please don't don't go after them. They will just make you beautiful fool out of you and will present you back. So a beginner,
Right. Yeah, Ankur, you can use that link. I just put the link of the past stream there. You can use that link to see the stocks for swing trading. I think time is up now. We almost have been talking for an hour. I think it's, uh, uh, and thank you all for joining and very patiently listening and joining in with the conversation. So I hope it has been helpful in terms of psychology, in terms of expectations, because ultimately your confidence, your morale will affect your trades. So it's important to have that. Wish you all the best and in your trading and investing journey. And Nehal, thank you very much for joining. He's a very good friend, a very dear friend, and I requested him to join the session. So thank you so much for joining and sharing your views. And
thank you.
thank you everybody for joining. Have a nice day. Goodbye.